If your business uses self-check-in for your customers, then from the online console, these are the settings you may want to configure. From the console, you will press the arrow pointing to the right to see your self-check-in settings. So that is this first icon, the gear icon. And from here, we can make adjustments that will affect how the customer interacts with the actual self-check-in process. Now there's two options, as you can see, client versus walk-in manager. If your business allows customers to do self-check-ins, then you want to press walk-in manager. If instead you use a tablet or another computer to let the customers just look up their information or change their information, as in the client online card, you would press the client button. So we're going to go to walk-in manager. And as we scroll down, these are settings that you can enable or disable that customers have to fill in order to make a visit. Now in this case, my business, or Angel's Test Salon, has it set to first name, last name, and email. Those are mandatory questions. If I press the edit button for either the kiosk, a mobile device, the web page, or all devices, I can edit those. And from the pop-up window, I can select which fields are active, which are mandatory, and which are required in order for a customer to search or allow a customer to search. In this case, Angel Salon allows me to search via first name, last name, or email. Once I press OK, I can go down and make additional adjustments. Will I allow the customers to actually edit the information after they've created it? Yes or no? So if a customer changes their phone number or their email, of course we want them to have that ability. Do I want to collect personal information such as the physical address? Yes or no? Or other additional demographic information? I can enable or disable this. And this does correspond with the demographics that are available in the Shortcuts point of sale. Will I allow customers to make a request for a specific employee? Do I want to show the prices for my services? And as the customer is checking in, do I want them to see the estimated wait time, whether it's for any employee or the average or their specific employee? Do I want to allow customers to have a delayed visit? So perhaps they see that there's already a line of customers waiting to get a haircut, and they decide, I'm going to check in right now, but I'm going to get some coffee or I'm going outside to smoke, and I will return a little bit later. So they just want to keep their name in the queue, not necessarily the next person, and they will return. So is that a yes or a no? And to verify that this is an actual person, this goes for mobile devices or the web page. Will you require the customer to click the CAPTCHA code and verify they're a real person? So this will prevent any bots if you're seeing a lot of phony or fake online bookings coming through. Now, show on-screen keyboard. So this enables an electronic keyboard if you're using a tablet. Now we'll scroll down a little bit. So how many seconds should Shortcuts wait on the idle timing or the reset timers? So if the customer is choosing a service or they don't seem to be paying attention to the windows, how many seconds should Shortcut wait before it prompts the customer to go to the next window or make a selection before Shortcuts resets it to the main login screen? In this case, we may advise 10 seconds. And we can do the same thing for the reset timer. So after the customer makes their appointment, we want the tablet to go back to the main screen automatically. So as we scroll down, these are additional settings that you can set. Do you want the name of the business or the name of the location to show up? Do you want Shortcuts for the self-check-in to be based on the roster, that is the schedule of the employees, or do you want it to be set based on who is actually clocked in at that moment? So that's current availability versus rostered availability. You can set how many minutes a customer is allowed to delay their visit. So let's say the maximum would be 30 minutes. Anything past that, and a customer cannot really hold their name in the queue. Do you want customers to be notified by SMS, by text message, when their turn is up? If so, this will dip into any confirmation messages that you have through Shortcuts. So you can say how many minutes before their SMS goes out? Should it be 5 minutes before their chair is ready, 10 minutes before? So you can make those adjustments here. And do you want the customer to have the ability to opt in or opt out by default on the self check-in? Now for your web page, if anything interrupts your self check-in, you can create an alternate URL. For example, the message may say, this page is not working currently, please return momentarily. And you can add information here. So the disclaimer can even remind customers, if you see this window, please alert an employee so that they're notified something's not working correctly on your self check-in. So we'll scroll down a little bit. The wallboard settings correspond to the actual information that appears on a secondary device, such as a television or a monitor that you have that shows the customers who is currently in the queue. So do you want to show what the wait time is for the individual customers? Do you want to show the estimated wait time for all customers, their position in the queue? These are things that you can enable or disable simply by pressing one of the checkboxes. And if we scroll down, if you have a large TV, you may decide that you want to have 10 or 20 customers show up in the queue, but if you have a smaller display, maybe 10 would be the most you want to show. And of course, at the bottom, again, if anything interrupts your television screen or your wallboard, you can always put in a web page that it should point to, such as your company website. A new feature for your self check-in, that is for both your self check-in screen as well as your wallboard, is the ability to upload your own business graphics. So for example, you can actually have a graphic that appears on the self check-in tablet or computer, and you can upload it here. We do recommend the graphic should be 1920 pixels by 1080. And you can also have a slightly different graphic appear for mobile devices, and that is if they are in the portrait mode. So you can have one for the tablet or desktop machine as well, a background. And again, a background image for mobile devices. So both the first screen that the customer sees as well as the following screens they see can each have their own graphic on computers, tablets, or mobile devices. Simply choose your file and upload it here. And don't forget to press the Save button once all of your changes are done.